Jets here, and as you can see, I'm here in Vermont in the back roads. Actually, I'm on Route 73, and I got the Bonnie out doing another episode of Chasing 200,000 Miles. I've got about 1,500 miles on so far for March, which is unheard of usually, and I was out for 10 days in Florida. I couldn't ride. Then we got back to a snowstorm, so the fact I got 1,500 miles on a season I've maybe ridden a week and a half for. 2 weeks tops is not too bad considering it's March. I usually don't ride at all. She's looking good, looking clean. Oiled it up, chain. So we'll talk about some of the stuff I do. There we go. Let's go, little girl. Bike currently sits at 105,236 miles. Not too shabby. Right. It's a brisk day today, about 40 degrees. Not super warm. So, it's March. And it's not raining, so it's good. But you can tell the creek's real high. A lot of rain. A lot of snow melt. We got a huge snowstorm. We got another snowstorm moving in this week. I can't ride. I'm trying to ride as best I can. But like I said, I'm kind of at the point where, I've got 1,500 miles on for the month. I'm going to reset trip 1 on my bike's going to give you the average. The monthly ride. I probably will get one more ride in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Easter Sunday. And then trip 2 is my day. So I've got 5 miles on so far. I'll put 100 on today. Because I do 100 every day. I don't clean the bike. I only clean the bike when I do an oil service, which is every 5,000 miles. So, just did an oil change on it. New filter. Hold the filters off for every 10,000. So, my next filter will be at 115,000 miles. So, that's just what I do. Reset, and I set my intervals on my bike with tune ECU for every 5,000 miles, which is, what I like to set it to. Triumph told me after my first transmission that I really need to set it to, do 5,000 mile oil changes. And I said, sure. And the bike's been happy ever since then. I don't know, the 10,000 mile oil change or annual, I think it makes sense for people that only ride 7,000 miles a year. But, on a good month, I'll do 10,000 miles in a month. That's a lot of wear and tear on that oil. The bike will be running like 14 to 18 hours straight if I'm doing a plus 1,000 mile day. And I do quite a few of those, and I'm really chasing miles, which I'm going to be doing again this year. Things are looking pretty good. I went down to Florida. It was good to see the Amen Moto Cats. I was running at V-Star 1100. I will have a video of that out. Or I will have a video of that. And it's an okay motorcycle. It's not my Bonnie though. Not this. This bike because I have it set up for sport touring. It's really, modern classic, sure, but I've got the 17-inch front end, the 17-inch front wheel, with the banded brakes, and this is way more poised. It's definitely one of the better handling motorcycles I've had. Other than some of the sport bikes I've owned. which obviously handle better because they just are designed that way. But this one handles really well. Just so low. Keeps his weight nice and low. I like it. Yeah. It's easy to do 100 miles a day around here. No problem. Put your tunes on, you go for a cruise. Enjoy the beautiful views. Easy. Bring in the road. Oh man, it shifts so much better with the oil change. It's crazy. There was a notable difference, like towards the end of the oil surface. It's just like it just felt clunky, just hard to shift, and just you could tell it wasn't really wanting to shift too well. Now it's got some new oil in it. It shifts real nice. And that's 5,000 miles, folks. That's a 5,000 mile oil change. Imagine if I pushed that to 10,000 miles. Come on. I mean, it's not, I don't recommend it, guys. If you're going to own one of these bikes for a long time, you've got to get on a 5,000 mile oil change surface. You know, that's where they'll sell you at the Triumph dealer. Oh, you know, the service is so much cheaper because you get the 10,000 mile oil changes. Yeah, of course it's cheaper, but it's not better for your bike. You know, and most people that own a motorcycle, they're only going to put 20,000, 30,000 miles on it. You know, a lot of people get scared. They see 50,000 miles, like high mileage. Oh my goodness, you know. And so a lot of manufacturers are catching on to that and are pushing their mileage longer. But what it does is it causes engine damage. That's probably what happened with my bike. I was running that 10,000 mile oil change. Triumph came to me and said, you need to switch to 5,000 mile winter changes. I'm like, sure. And now the bike's got 105,000 miles. It's been 85,000 miles since the transmission replaced. The second transmission's probably got more miles than most T120s have. On the second transmission, and it's 5,000 mile oil changes. So, then I do 5,000 mile oil change, 10,000 mile oil filter. So, that seems to be a good way to do it. So you save even more money. You only buy a filter every other oil change. So, everything else was in spec. When I did a 100,000 mile check, you know, coolant looked good. The brakes looked fine. The fluid, as you can tell, is clear. I did that last year or the year before. I think it's every like 3 years you're supposed to do your brake fluid, but I mean I go by like how dark it is and it looks fine. Still, you know, when I checked the valves were in spec, everything looked fine. So I'm not really too worried about it. That was the Adirondacks. Old Church. Today. Yeah, I don't know. 5,000 mile oil change, sir. Another thing I do is I lube my chain about 500 miles, 3,500 miles. I'll put some extra gear lube. I lube my chain with gear lube. That's kind of like what it recommends, or like a chain lube. I'll use the chain wax. Seems to be okay. That does alright, but you know, on the longer days, I'll just bring some lube and I'll just lube the chain, and just no lube. The cleanliness isn't actually a problem. In fact, I've learned chains seem to last longer if you don't clean them as often. You set them once, and then you clean them. I clean them when I do an oil change every 5,000 miles. That's when I'll clean my chain, and then I'll lube it, and I'll just lube, and then the grime picks up, and then it kind of acts like a sponge and holds the lube to the chain. They don't rust. I've never had like a rusting chain, so they usually just stretch out, get tired on 25,000 miles, which is typical, and that's just what I do. I just don't have time. Like, people like to clean and wax and wash their bike. I'm just like, this is a motorcycle. It's designed to be ridden, and this one in particular is so well designed to be ridden that I don't have time to clean it. I don't really care how it looks. I mean, don't get me wrong, I care that it doesn't, like, the lights work and stuff like that. Like, that's important. But, like, everything I've done to my bike is purely for riding. All my, the alloy conversion. I didn't do it for looks, obviously, because the rims don't match. I don't care. But it really lightened up the bike a lot. Helps with fuel economy, helps with handling, helps with acceleration, helps with braking, so it just seemed like a good upgrade, and it's been a great upgrade. Being tubeless also is like a huge insurance policy. Alright, now this is I think this is Hortonia Lake. It's really pretty. Really pretty today. Taking Route 144. Yeah, no big deal. So that's the first oil change of the season. Like I said, you're gonna have about 1,600 miles, maybe 17. It depends on how many miles I can sneak on tomorrow. Gonna end the month at 105. Start of the month at 103. So it's not too bad. Like I said, it's March. This is a bonus month. You usually can't ride much at all. Sometimes I'm sneaking out, but I'm not riding every day. And right now, every day, it's been cold. It's just fine, but you gotta be careful with the rain and the snow melt. I've had some ice on one of my rides, and I went on a ride. Actually, it was a good comment, one of my shorts, about the snow, like the ice and stuff like that, and then, ice on the road, which is important, and it is. When you drive in the cold weather, I mean, gear is really important, and, because if you don't have right gear and you keep pushing it, you're going to get hypothermic, get frostbite, and then you're going to lose a finger or a toe or something. So, making sure you're warm is important. But it's just like snowmobiling. Once you get past the mindset that, oh, I like to go snowmobiling, oh, riding a motorcycle in the same degree weather is just like snowmobiling, and all of a sudden it's not a big deal. I say that to a lot of people. I'm one of my boss in particular, he will be like, you're an idiot. I'm like, did you go snowmobiling this week? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you're an idiot. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's the same temperature, dude, that I'm riding. How am I an idiot and you're not an idiot? Oh, I didn't think of it like that. Well, yeah, it's a paradigm shift. So riding in the cold, a snow on a sled, you're wearing the same gear on a bike. It's like the same kind of experience, except, it's not, because you're not on snow. But yeah, the viewer made a great comment about making sure that the roads are safe, and you really do got to keep an eye out. It's all about using your head. It's not just ice, too. You got to watch out for sand and salt. So you can see right here on this edge here on the side of the road, it's all sand and all salt because we've had a lot of snow. And I'm just going over right now on the center line, and there's a big pile of sand. You can see it right there. It's all gritty. I'm going slow, but that's just as dangerous as ice. But, you know, you ride different in the early spring than you do when you ride in the summer. You try to, like, go slower around turns. You make more straightaways. And, like, and in the mornings, you know your path. If you're going to drive on cold weather, like, especially in the dark, make sure that you know where your snow melt areas are. And because when the snow melts, it freezes at night and creates black ice. And you hit it, and you go through it, but here's the thing, is you just figure out where the black ice is, and you make a straight line, pucker up, and roll over it, and you're okay. So, I won't ride, I don't like to ride, I'm past the point of riding in snow. Used to do with the TU250X, as you can tell in some of my other videos. I definitely would go riding in the snow. I'm kind of past that. It's like riding in the rain. It's just no fun. You get wet. You get soaked. The roads aren't that great. You know, on a small bike, it's manageable. You can do it, but it's not like what I would consider a fun time. Look at that view. We're in Orwell right now. So, you know, just be smart when you're riding in the cold. Like, just keep an eye out. If the temps are below 32, keep an eye out. If it looks like water on the road, it might be ice. Act like it's ice. Treat it with respect. Treat your machine with respect. And take your time. Even if it means slowing down and taking an extra 2 to 5 minutes to get to where you're going, because you got to go a little slower, so be it. You'll get there safe. And that's the thing, you know, when you ride a lot of miles, you really figure out, it's not about, like, slamming and jamming and going as fast as you can. Don't be wrong, like, I think I'm an okay rider. I can keep up with most folks in twisty situations, although I'm slowing down now. I've slowed down a lot since my daughter came around. But, you learn about the other things. The dumb drivers. You know, I just was, like, looking today, I almost got hit by a person in Massachusetts. I live in a town that has 4,000 people. So, you know, I gotta keep an eye out for the other people. The locals know me. They're not gonna, they see me, they wave, and, you know, we all kind of keep an eye on each other. That's kind of like the Vermont way, or like small town living way of the United States. Just kind of like keep an eye on each other and respect each other. But these jackwagons from, you know, the Flatlanders, we call them Flatlanders, or we call them white platers, but they're from like Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, downstate, upstate. Upstate New Yorkers are actually pretty chill. They're just all about themselves, and it's really sad. And you know, they put you at risk. They put your safety second compared to their personal life first. How their comfort or needs are their schedule, their priority. That's kind of the problem with societies these days. No one's in the mode of service to each other, respect for each other, and it shows. And it makes you more compromised when you're on a motorcycle. But you put enough miles on, you start to see the patterns. You can recognize those souls as they come on you. You gotta watch out for deer. You do see them every now and then. You gotta watch out for bear. I see them every now and then. You gotta watch out for moose. I see them every now and then. The dogs are the worst. Like, domesticated dogs. They chase you. I've had them chase me a couple times. But that's kind of the trick of the trade. Route 144. Like I said, I'm not going too crazy. Beautiful ride. I like how the state of Vermont made me this road for me to use. Look at that. See how it goes up and down? This is a really fun road. .22A is kind of the main artery of Vermont for trucking. Route 7 is kind of like where all the tourists go up north and south. 22A is really where all the big 18-wheelers go. It's the 18-wheeler traffic spot. Yeah, beautiful day. Turned out to be nice. Look how blue that sky is. It's something beautiful. This is the straightest, flattest road in the state. One of the straightest, flattest roads I can think of in the state. I was down in Florida and it would be like straight, flat. The 22A is like curvy in comparison. They call this is a sweeper. That's just the kink in the road. It's so cute. It's cute. It's kind of cute. Sweeper. There's not, I don't know, there's a couple good sweepers here. You know, where you're leaned over and you're doing, 90-degree turn. Or maybe like, maybe like 60 degrees. Like this isn't really a sweeper, is it? I don't know. Would you consider that a sweeper? I don't know. Not really. Got a little river out there. Everything's all flooded out because of the snow melt. Big shout out to the Amen Moto guys. I want to thank them for coming up, visiting, and putting 800 miles on their bikes to come see me. They didn't need to do that, and I appreciate that. It was good seeing them. Really nice to ride that XR 1000 or S1000 XR. Yeah, realized I really miss my 4-cylinder bikes, but also realized that bike is definitely not what I want to ride all the time. I've put so many miles on this bike, it's just so much more comfortable. It's comfortable. I just want to be comfortable. So it was good seeing them. Good to ride the bike. I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. I don't know if I could justify owning one. I think if I was going to route, like I said, I really want to get saddle time on a GSX 1000S, but that's another time for another topic, for another story. Big shout out to Dr. Light. Big shout out to Scott Light. This comfort seat I'm on, 3 seats. This is the 3rd seat I put on this bike, by the way. Seats definitely lose their comfort over miles. So I have on my 3rd seat, and this is a comfort seat, Triumph comfort seat. I really like it. It just kind of like doesn't keep the knees up as high, which is nice. I can kind of go like this. Miss my foot peg sometimes. I don't think I could get a foot peg. I don't know. Yeah, I could probably get foot pegs for this. Maybe I will. The thing about the foot pegs is nice is on the big rides, like, they're doing 1,000 miles, you can go like this, you go like this. The foot pegs are nice. They're just, you get goofy looking. Starts to look more like a cruiser-ish bike, but who cares, Like I said, it's function over form. But the comfort seat's nice, so thank you. So this is a typical Vermont highway. Yeah, this is basically what I'm used to. Well, I bet the population of this town is probably around 2,500 people. Yeah, 25, I'm guessing. It's a really small little town. This kind of back doors into Salisbury, which I can go into Cornwall. But I gotta do 70 more miles, so probably I might cross over to New York, just blast on 22. But this has been nice. I kind of like just puttering around, cruising the back highways. Is it a farm? Lots of farm over here. Lots of agriculture. I did go to Triumph for a clutch, just because I have been noticing quite a little slippage. Not quite a bit, just a little slippage. The top gears, if I'm like really getting after it, twist the throttle, it'll like kind of get soft to the top gears. But cruising around, I don't notice much. So it's a very unique clutch system. There's two separate different clutch discs, friction plates. You can buy the whole kit from Triumph for like $150. But then you need to get like, there's like a judder plate, judder plate, and like, which I don't know what that does, but there's two of those I need to replace. And then there's also a couple sprigs, which I need to replace. So yeah, I'm just like, meh. How much? It ended up being close to like $400. And I was like, you gotta be kidding, because I can get a whole clutch kit for like a Suzuki for like, you know, $80, you know, maybe less. But I don't know, it's still, there's not a lot of clutches to go out on these things. The dealer did have one guy who somehow stripped his clutch out. I'm not sure how he did that, because, you know, the bike's at 105,000 and the clutch is still pretty good. Like, still does the job, and I'm not worried about it. I just was thinking about, you know, maybe for a big ride, that would be something to at least look into doing when I'm fully loaded, going for long days, or things heat up for a long time, so things can go wrong, especially if things aren't out of spec. So my clutch is on the radar, but it's definitely not mandatory. There's Lake Champlain right there. The beautiful Lake Champlain. I don't think you can see it, but if you can see it right there, there's the ruins of, it's actually not ruins, it's Fort Ticonderoga is right there on that clearing across the lake right there on that point. Fort Ticonderoga, or Fort Clarion, as the French would call it. Fun fact, New York is more populated than Vermont, but Vermont pollutes the lake far more than New York, and it's all agricultural runoff. Fun fact. It's kind of a disheartening fact. Don't get me wrong, I understand farmers, they, you know, they help us out, give us food, give us milk, but, yeah, they still just spread shit everywhere. They'll be doing it real soon. Once the fields dry out a bit, they'll start spreading, and then after the first rain, you can go to any contributary on this side of the lake, and it is brown and stinks, and the lake just blooms with an algal bloom. It's quite a shame, because it's a really pretty lake. It's quite a pretty, could be even prettier, could be cleaner if we didn't like pollute it. And you would think pollute, oh, chemical, industrial. No, it's all farm runoff. All right, so here we are. This is where the ferry is. You can see the fort kind of over there. Alright guys, well on that, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to pull right over. Welcome to Vermont. Brandon, 20 miles. Who lives there? Who wonder? Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. Oh, so pretty. It's the old steed. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. I know I just said that. And I will keep you guys posted as I continue to rack the miles. Like I said, it's kind of slow going, and, you know, got 1,500 miles for the season. So we're going to keep going. Okay, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later. Best